Okay, we're in Union, Kentucky. This restaurant just closed a few days ago. You can still see the U-Haul trucks there. And you can see customers pulling up as I'm sitting here looking at the letter on the door to find out what's going on. I'm guessing gift cards from what I've heard online and things of that nature. Now, it's always sad when a business like this closes. It stinks. It's a loss for the community. It's a loss for the employees, and it's a loss for the business. I've had a business that's closed. It's a loss for the business owner. They don't want it. You lose a lot of money. You lose your livelihood, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. But let's talk about from a marketing standpoint, because I have a very good understanding of this business locally. And from a marketing standpoint, what did they do wrong? What hurt them, in my opinion? So here's what I've noticed. So number one, I'm in Union, Kentucky. It's a great brand. A place called Flip Daddy's. Luis, who's watching live right now, we ate there. Had some awesome fried mac and cheese. They have a good menu. Always had good service. But here's some things that really blew me away. And I had a marketing conversation with them probably a year and a half ago. This is about a mile and a half from my house. I live in Union, Kentucky. This restaurant here, and there's down here, there's a couple. And then there's one up there that's a couple up there that are one of them a client of mine. There's not a whole lot of selection around here. And you got a lot of people, and there's a lot of money back here, and you drive down that road to go to Florence. So if I'm Flip Daddy's and I'm in Union, Kentucky, a couple things that would alarm me, and that did alarm me, I brought up to the owners a while back. Number one, I live in Union. The exact zip code is this restaurant. Guess how many direct mail pieces I ever got from Flip Daddy's? 0. Guess how many Facebook ads I ever saw targeted to people who live in Union, Kentucky? 0. Guess how many Instagram ads, YouTube ads, retargeted internet ads? 0. Guess how many times they showed up at Ryle High School, where my son plays football, just got down to the swim meet, where my daughter's cheered for, I guess it's her 4th year there. She's a senior. Never. I never saw them there. And so let me ask you this. If you're a restaurant, you're this place, and you want to avoid those moving trucks on your last days and a sign on the front door saying we've closed, see our other locations, you've got to attack your market. You've got to find people that want to do business with you. I always say this all the time. You as a business owner, it's your job every day to find ways to ask people for money. Grant Cardone always says, who's got my money? Matt Plapp on a daily basis, 5 to 10 times a day. I text, email, phone call, stop by, have meetings with people that should be doing business with me, and I ask them to do business with me. This restaurant's no different. They should be going to Ryle High School, or should have been, a mile up the road. Football games, baseball games, track meets, band events, and saying, do business with us. Hell, they should have been on Facebook retargeting people who live in Union. That's the lowest hanging fruit in the world. I see a friend of mine on here, Laura, from the radio days. And, radio, they could buy radio because they actually have a handful of locations in Cincinnati. It would benefit them. But they can't buy radio for this store. There you go. Another car pulling up. Going to walk up, look at the thing, and say, hey, what's going on with this place? And they could buy a Facebook ad for $1 a day and brand the heck out of themselves to people who live in Union. They could have sent me a direct mail piece. They could have come to my neighborhood. I remember a while back, this was 20 years ago, with Snappy Tomato Pizza, a local pizza brand that's awesome. We actually went to them and put a program together. We went on streets and neighborhoods around their store because they know they think it's called the Magic Mile. That majority of your business is going to come from a mile around your restaurant. And it's not hard to take this and go out to these neighborhoods. You can see them back there. It's behind this Kroger, there's one. There's a huge community across over here and back behind that building and up behind here. Go knock on doors. Hand out flyers. Ask people, have you been to our restaurant? We'd love to have you down. Here's a free burger. Here's a $5 off 50 purchase. Whatever you want to do. But it's so basic. And like Phil said here on the Facebook Live, it's so basic it pisses him off. And I agree. It drives me crazy. I live in Union. I should be sick and tired of seeing your brand in marketing. I could see if I was in Chicago and I'm in one of the suburbs that in between 5 million people. I'm in Union. I'd be willing to bet there's probably less than 5,000 people within a couple minutes of here. How hard is it to invite us to do business with you? So restaurants, when you put in place all the time and effort, when you spend the 50 grand on those signs, which, by the way, number one question I hate getting from restaurants. They want to know the ROI on their marketing. I love that question from a standpoint that I can show it. But I hate the answer. I hate the question or the answer I get to the question. I say, what's the ROI on your sign? You put that sign there. You spend a lot of money on that sign. It's not doing you a whole lot of good right now. How do you know it even works? Different topic. But the thing that drives me crazy is businesses, they'll spend all the money on those booths, on their kitchen, on that sign. I was at a business the other day that spent like $6,000 on this sculpture in front of their door. And when you ask them, how much did you set aside for marketing in the next 12 months? When we opened our gym, Casey, myself, and Dwayne, not my dad, Dwayne, another Dwayne, we had enough money and we had commitment from 2 of the 3 owners. We were going to fund the operation for 12 months no matter what. We knew it wasn't going to happen overnight. And guess what? We never touched that money because we hustled. So ask yourself, did businesses like this, and they've been here a while. I've been here 4 years, I guess a little over 4 years. But are businesses like this, when you open a restaurant, are you putting down on paper, hey, it's going to cost me $1 million to do this, 300 grand to do this, 100 grand to do this. I'm going to set $150,000 in an account, and I'm going to take that money over the next 15 months, 18 months, 20 months, and invite people to do business with me. If you don't ask people to do business with you, they won't. And if you don't ask them often enough in the most obvious ways, you end up with moving trucks there. Now, granted, there could be some other circumstances surrounding this. I'm sure there are. It's never as simple as that. But I can tell you from a marketing person, from somebody that knows the restaurant marketing world as good as anybody, they had some flaws here locally. The fact that me, Matt Plapp, a 43-year-old guy with 2 kids who eats out 15 times plus a week, was never invited to do business here in any digital marketing, in any print marketing, anyway. Failure is avoidable when you take the right steps to avoid it. That's all I got. See ya.